Hi, I'm Raunaq Malhotra, and this is my video application for the 2023 Summer Housing Assistant position. Being an RA for the past year, it's been a great experience creating a positive environment and inculcating a sense of community within my residents. I was inspired to do the same by my own sophomore year RA, Maya, and I hoped I can do that in the summer as well through this position. I see this position as an opportunity to create yet another positive environment and inculcate a sense of community among a different set of residents this time. I see this position as a learning opportunity to learn more about my residents. I want to learn about the different backgrounds that they're coming from, about the different conferences that they're taking part in, and about their different opinions so that we can all thrive in this shared living space. Furthermore, I see this not only as a learning opportunity to learn more about my residents, but also as a learning opportunity to evolve as a leader. While I have evolved as a leader in the past year, being a resident assistant and also a teaching assistant in the College of Computing and Informatics, I believe there's more to learn. I want to improve upon my communication skills. I want to hone my customer service skills, and I want to evolve as a person. And I will be able to do all of this through this position using my three greatest strengths. In my opinion, my three greatest strengths are empathy, communication, and friendliness. I'm an empathetic person by nature. I can put myself in another person's shoes, understand where they're coming from, and so that I can truly help them. And I believe empathy is a great skill to have as a leader, especially if you're a summer housing assistant or even a resident assistant. If I'm empathetic, I can understand my residents' needs. I can understand where my resident is coming from, and I can put myself in my residents' shoes so that I can truly help them, whether it's resolving a conflict, whether it's answering any questions that they might have, or whether it's just giving them advice. It's really fulfilling to me when I can use my strength of empathy to understand where my residents are coming from and have a positive impact on them. Even if I can have a small impact on their journey, I'm really happy about that. Secondly, my second greatest strength, is my strength of friendliness. I'm a friendly person, and while I believe it is important to assert my role as a leader in this housing environment, it's also important to create a friendly environment for my residents so that they can be comfortable. I have a friendly relationship with my residents, they can be comfortable around me and they can come to me for help, for advice. And it's a step towards creating a positive environment and also inculcating a sense of community. Therefore, the strength of friendship is one of my second greatest strength, and I believe I'll be able to use it really well in this position of the summer housing assistant. Last but not the least, my another strength of mine is the strength of communication. I communicate really well when I'm working in a team, when I'm working with other people. I communicate every step of the way of where I am with the task. And this strength of communication will be beneficial to me in this position, not only with my residents, but also the HRL team that I'm working with. Where I'm good at communicating to other people if I need help. But at the same time, I'm also good at sensing if the other person needs help and communicating to them that I'm open to help them if they want it. So this using this strength of mine, I'll be able to thrive in a team setting with my resident directors, with other housing assistants, and I'll also be able to thrive with my residents living in this shared space. I have also used this skill of communication when um, I'm a teaching assistant at the College of Computing and Informatics. However, this skill of communication has also been a point of conflict in past experiences when I've worked in a team. In my freshman year of college, I was in a team of four and for a freshman design class, and we were in charge of making a product in 20 weeks, a software product. We decided that we would all divide tasks among the four of us and work on it individually. And it was also the global time of global pandemic. So we were all communicating via Slack, which is an online platform. So we weren't meeting anyone actually face to face and communicating face to in person. So the best way I thought would be to communicate, and I thought my team could communicate the best way was via messages, by communicating and updating each other every step of the way with their task at hand. However, there was one team member who was hesitant of communicating every step of the way and would only communicate after he would finish a task. I also sensed that he was a bit hesitant in asking for help and found it a bit daunting. So I set up a call with him and I tried to understand where he's coming from. I was able to use my strength of empathy and really actually improve that, to be honest, and understand where that other person is coming from. I was able to understand that he finds it a bit difficult sometimes to reach out for help, to communicate every step of the way, and he finds it a bit burdening to communicate to his teammates every step of the way. And he finds it more easier to communicate to them about the status of his task only once he's finished. So, in order to make it easier for him, but also so that we could keep each other updated, something that I suggested was the idea of paired programming, where two people work on the same task of programming together over an online call or an in-person meeting. This way, we can communicate each other in real time while also helping each other out. And this way, the other teammate wouldn't have to go through the burden of communicating every step of the way and updating their team members and updating us as his team members. So this approach really worked well for us, and we were able to deliver this product in 20 weeks without compromising anybody's ability to communicate. At the same time, I learned that sometimes overcommunication is also not the best skill to have. Overcommunication can sometimes become irritating to certain people, and it can be a burden, in fact, on some people. I was able to put myself in my teammate's shoes, understand where he's coming from, and also at the same time learn something about over communication and how I could work on my communication skills as well so that I don't over communicate and burden the other person. That learning I'm able to apply even as a teaching assistant this in the College of Computing and Informatics, and even as a resident assistant. In my experience as a teaching assistant, sometimes I have to deal with students where I cannot give them the answer that they're looking for, but at the same time, maintain a good customer experience. So in my opinion, if I would like to maintain a good customer experience while answering the question, but not giving out the information that the other person is looking for, I would use my two greatest skills of empathy and communication. I would understand where the other person is coming from. I would put myself in their shoes, but at the same time, I would communicate to them. I would communicate that I'm not authorized to give the information, or if for some reason I don't know the information. So I would communicate to them clearly that I understand where they're coming from, but I'm not authorized to give this information, or I don't know. I would use a similar approach when I'm dealing with a parent who's asking about their child's accommodation or any other private details. I would clearly communicate to the parent that I am not authorized to give this information, but I do understand where they're coming from. I do understand their distress. I do understand their concern for their child. But at the same time, it's not it's not my right, and I'm not in the position to give the private information about their child. Hoping that they can understand my position as a resident assistant or as a summer housing assistant and understand where I'm coming from while also being satisfied with the answer. This way, I will be able to maintain a good customer service experience and also be able to answer their question without revealing the information that they might be looking for. Lastly, as a resident assistant, I understand how important it is that our residents understand the importance of that that our residents understand the importance of health and safety, not only physical health but also sexual health, mental health, emotional health. So to make my residents more aware about the health and safety on Drexel's campus, I would use Drexel's resources. I would use public safety officers. I would use counseling services. I would use Drexel Health Center and collaborate with them so that I can organize events for my resident. Fun events with food so that they have an incentive to come, but also at the same time, they're educated about Drexel. They're educated about Drexel's resources, whether it's physical health, who to reach out to, whether it's mental health, where to reach out to, who to reach out to, or sexual health, who to reach out to, and where to reach out, and how to reach out to them. I will be able to collaborate with public safety officers, therapists, and doctors at the health center so that they can educate my residents, answer their questions in real time, and also help them be more aware of Drexel surroundings. If it's their first time, getting settled into Drexel. Using Drexel's resources would be my first approach. My second approach would be to maybe having an open conversation with my residents. Because if I'm able to have an open conversation with my residents, I'm able to normalize these feelings of distress, whether they're in a state of emotional distress or physical distress or mental distress. And whatever stigma that they have around that, they could possibly overcome that stigma using these conversations. Overall, I want my residents to be healthy and safe, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally. In conclusion, I want to use this position of mine so that I can gain something for myself as a leader while also giving back to the community and create a positive, enriching experience for my residents. Thank you.